Good morning, students. Welcome back to the UAV class. Today you are going to learn a new chapter. Chapter 4, Weathering and Soil Formation. Earth is undergoing continuous change as a result of temperature and pressure. There are two types of forces. First is internal force and second is external force. These forces cause changes on the earth's surface and even produce new landforms. Internal forces are usually occurring in the interior of the earth. They are in the form of earthquake or the volcanic eruptions. They are able to make new landforms on the earth. Whereas external forces are occurring on the surface of earth. They are making change on the landforms such as mountains, plateaus and plains. See, now in this lesson you are going to learn mainly about the type of rocks. But before coming to this topic, I will tell you what is rocks and what is minerals, how they are different. Rocks are an aggregate of minerals. They don't have their own chemical composition, and in some rock have a large quantities of metals, and these metals are extracted for many purposes. Such a type of rocks are known as iron ore or ores. Minerals, on the other hand, have their own chemical composition. They have their own chemicals and physical properties. Now, we are going to see what are the main uses of rock. The first is that rocks are used for building construction, and rocks break into fine particles which form soil, and soil is used for growing crops, and rocks are used as raw materials for industries. Many rock supply many precious metals such as gold and silver. Now we are going to see what are the main type of rocks. There are three types of rock. They are igneous rock, sedimentary rock and metamorphic rock. Of this, the first is igneous rock. The word igneous is derived from a Latin word, igne, which means fire. This type of rock are found by the deposition of molten magma either inside the rock or on the surface of the earth. And these are the primary type of rock, or we can say that these are the parent rock of other type of rock. Nearly 85% of the earth crust are covered by this type of rock. There are two types of igneous rock. They are intrusive igneous rock and extrusive igneous rock. The first one is intrusive rock. What is meant by the intrusive rock? Means due to the volcanic eruptions, the lava, instead of coming on the surface of earth, the molten magma may get stuck in the interior of earth. Later it gradually cools, solidify and become rock. What this means is that the molten magma gets stuck in the earth crust, forms the intrusive rock. On the other hand, the molten magma which are coming on the earth's surface are known as lava. These are deposited and gradually cools, solidify and take the form of rock. This type of rock are known as extrusive rock, or in other words, the molten magma coming on the earth's surface cools and solidify and take the form of rock, that is known as extrusive rock. This type of rock are very hard and they never subject to any type of wearing. And the next, second type of rocks are known as sedimentary rock. Means there are certain agents are there, such as wind, running waters, glaciers. This type of natural agent carry the sediment or small pieces of rock and deposit it in ponds, rivers or lake. Gradually, layer over layer, they are deposited, and due to the overlying compression, they are forming rock. Such type of rocks are known as sedimentary rock because they are found in layers. That is why this type of rock are known as sedimentary rock. I will show you from the text the picture of sedimentary rock. So from here you can see that this is the picture of sedimentary rock. See, now I am moving to the different categories of sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock are divided into three categories. They are mechanically formed sedimentary rock, organically formed sedimentary rock, and chemically formed sedimentary rock. First I am looking into the mechanically formed sedimentary rock, how they are formed. Certain pieces of rock or the fragment of rock carried by the running water or glaciers deposited into a new place, and over a long period of time they are due to compression take the shape of a rock. Such a type of rock are known as mechanically formed sedimentary rock. Means no human beings are involved in its formation. Only the natural forces are involved in its formation. And the second is that organically formed sedimentary rock. So let us see that how they are formed. The remains of marine animals and plants got buried under the soil over a long period of time, subjected to the changes, and form the different type of new product, such as that coal, petroleum, or the rock oil. And another product of dead plants and animals formed is that limestone and corals. Finally, that the chemically formed sedimentary rock. Certain rock contains minerals, but these minerals, when come in touch with water, subject to a chemical changes. And what happens is that these minerals in touch with the water get dissolved and deposited in the water, and all these loose materials are compressed by the evaporation and form the rock. For examples are that gypsum and the rock salt. The third category of rock is known as metamorphic rock. So how they are formed? So let us say that the igneous rock and the sedimentary rock, which are subjected to the extreme heat and pressure, undergoes a change, and there appear a complete change in its appearance. Such type of rock are known as metamorphic rock. For example, that the limestone is changed into marble, and some valuable minerals such as gold and silver are also associated with this. Next I am moving to the another topic, that is soil formation. Soil is one of the most very important resources. This is the thin topmost layer of the earth crust, and it is made up of rock particles and organic matter. It is formed by breaking down of rock particles due to weathering and erosion. Now let us see that what are the main features of soil. Soil has no definite composition, and it also contains decayed plants and animals, and it has silica, clay and chalk. It is also contains humus, which is formed by the decomposition of plants and animals. Soil has two layers: topsoil, which is very fertile, so that can be used for growing crops, and the second layer is known as subsoil, which is not fertile and not so productive. Next I am going to explain about the soil profile. So you can see that it is a picture of soil profile. The soil has three layers. The first part is known as topsoil. So here this part is known as the topsoil, and this part is very rich in humus as well as in minerals, and this part provides lot of nutrients for the plant's growth, and it also consists of fine silt, clay and the sand. And the second layer of soil is known as subsoil. So this part is the subsoil, and in this part humus is very poor, but the minerals are present here, which is washed down by water from the upper layer. It contains gravel, clay and sand, and the last part is known as parent rock, and here you can see that big fragment of the weathered rock lie in this layer, and this part has no plant and animal life. Now I am going to explain about the factors which are responsible for the formation of soil, and these factors are nature of the parent rock and the relief of the area, climate and vegetation and time. The first one is that the nature of the parent rock. The nature of the parent rock influences the color and the texture of the soil. It also determines about the chemical properties as well as the mineral content of the soil. Second is that the relief of the area. It relates to the altitude as well as the slope of the land. And another factor is that the climate. So it is the climate relates to the temperature as well as the rainfall, determine the rate of weathering. And another factor is that the vegetation. Vegetation decides about the quantity of humus as well as the microorganisms. And finally time. It is said that it will take 1000 years for the formation of 2.5 centimeters of soil, and the thickness of the soil also depending upon the time. And we know that the quality of the soil determines the crops to be cultivated. And if the soil is very fertile, that soil is used for the cultivation. Usually fertile soil is found in the valleys. Here the soil is alluvial in nature. If it is the case of India, here the soil in Ganga and Brahmaputra plains are very fertile and it is alluvial in nature. So that is why most of the crops are cultivated in these regions. Similarly, in the other part of the world, such as Nile, in Egypt, along these regions, that crops are cultivated abundantly, and other places are that Mississippi plains in USA and Wango plain areas in China.